Eshi's first thought when she found the man bleeding in the alley was that he'd been mugged. Wrong place, wrong time. Victim of Soul's dark side. Her second thought was that she could save him if she acted fast. Her third thought, the one that came too late, was that maybe some people were bleeding in alleys for a reason. Gunwoo wasn't a victim. He was a target. And by saving him, Eshe had made herself one too. "I didn't ask for this," she said, staring at the marriage license that appeared on her kitchen table 3 days after she'd stitched up a stranger. "Neither did I," Gunwoo replied, leaning against her counter like he owned it. Like he owned everything. "But you saved my life, and now people who want me dead think you matter to me." "I don't matter to you. I don't even know you. They don't know that, and by the time they figure it out, you'll already be dead." The casual way he said it made her blood run cold. "So marry me," Gunwoo continued, pulling out a ring that probably cost more than her yearly salary. "Let me protect you, spoil you, keep you alive. All you have to do is wear this ring and pretend to love me." Pretend. Right. Because real would be crazy. Except Gunwoo didn't act like it was pretend. He acted like Eshe was precious cargo, showering her with gifts, guarding her like treasure, looking at her with eyes that said she was more than a problem to solve. And Eshe, despite her better judgment, despite knowing this was all fake, started looking back. This was going to end badly. But maybe, just maybe, it would be worth it. Before you find out how Eshe married the Korean Mafia boss, do me a favor and hit that subscribe and like button. You can also drop a comment telling me if you'd take the ring or run. No judgment either way. Now let's see how Eshe survives marriage to a man who won't let her go. The alley smelled like rain and garbage. Eshe pulled her jacket tighter, cursing herself for taking the shortcut. 3 more blocks and she'd be home. 3 more blocks and she could collapse into bed after a 12-hour shift. That's when she saw the blood. It started as small drops on the wet pavement, then became a trail leading behind the dumpster. Every sensible part of her brain screamed to keep walking. This was Seoul's Gangnam district at 1 in the morning. Nothing good happened in dark alleys. But Eshe had never been good at listening to the sensible parts. She pulled out her phone, turned on the flashlight, and followed the trail. The man was slumped against the brick wall, one hand pressed to his side, dark liquid seeping between his fingers. His white shirt was soaked red. Even in the dim light, Eshe could see he was young, maybe early 30s, with sharp features and black hair falling into his eyes. He was also definitely dying. "Hey!" Eshe dropped to her knees beside him, her nurse training kicking in before fear could stop her. "Hey, can you hear me?" His eyes opened, unfocused. They were dark brown, almost black. "I'm calling an ambulance," she said, reaching for her phone. His hand shot out, gripping her wrist with surprising strength for someone bleeding out. "No. You need a hospital. No hospital." His voice was rough, barely a whisper. "They'll find me." Red flags went up in Eshe's mind. Normal people didn't refuse hospitals. Normal people didn't bleed in alleys and hide from whoever they were. She should walk away. Run, actually. Instead, she heard herself say, "I'm a nurse." "Let me see." She peeled his hand away from the wound. Knife injury. Deep but clean. He'd lost blood, but if she could stop the bleeding, he might survive the night. The question was whether she'd survive helping him. "My apartment is 2 blocks away," Eshe said. "Can you walk?" He nodded, tried to stand, and immediately collapsed against her. For a dead man walking, he was heavy. Somehow, she got him to her building. Somehow, they made it up 3 flights of stairs without anyone seeing. Somehow, she dragged him into her tiny apartment and locked the door. Then reality hit her. There was a bleeding stranger on her floor, possibly a criminal, definitely in trouble, and she'd just made herself an accomplice to whatever mess he was running from. "What's your name?" she asked, grabbing her first aid kit. "Does it matter? I'm currently saving your life." "Yes, it matters." A ghost of a smile crossed his face. "Gunwoo." "Well, Gunwoo, this is going to hurt." She worked fast, cleaning the wound, applying pressure, stitching with the supplies she kept from her clinic work. He didn't make a sound, just watched her with those intense dark eyes. "You're good at this," he said finally. "It's my job." As she tied off the last stitch. "You're lucky. 2 inches to the left and you'd be dead." "I don't believe in luck." "Then what do you believe in?" "Fate." She sat back, studying him properly now. Expensive watch, tailored clothes despite the blood, and that face. There was something dangerous about it, even pale and injured. Who are you running from? People who want me dead. That's not an answer. It's the only one you're getting. Eshi stood, suddenly exhausted. You can stay tonight. Tomorrow morning, you leave, and we forget this happened. What's your name? She hesitated. Giving her name felt like crossing a line she couldn't uncross. Eshi. Esh, he repeated, like he was memorizing it. Thank you. She gave him a pillow and blanket, then retreated to her bedroom. Sleep didn't come. She kept thinking about the blood, the way he'd refused help, how his hand had gripped her wrist with absolute certainty. What had she done? Morning came too fast. Eshi opened her bedroom door, expecting him to be gone. Instead, Gunwoo sat at her tiny kitchen table, looking through her mail. What are you doing? He held up an envelope. Your visa expired 4 months ago. Ice flooded her veins. That's none of your business. You saved my life even though you're hiding too. He set down the letter. Interesting. If you're loving this drama already, drop a comment below and tell me what you think Gunwoo will do next. I read every single one, and your theories make my day. Let's get into it. Get out, Eshe said quietly. I will. He stood, moved carefully, like his side still hurt. But I owe you a debt. You don't owe me anything. In my world, debts matter. He pulled out a business card, set it on the table. If you need anything, call. Then he was gone. Eshe grabbed the card. Heavy paper, expensive printing. Just a phone number, no name. She should throw it away. She put it in her wallet instead. 3 days passed. Eshe tried to forget the strange man and his stranger words. She went to work at the medical center, translated for foreign patients, and pretended everything was normal. On the 4th day, 2 men in black suits walked into the clinic. They weren't there for treatment. Eshe? The taller one smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. We need to talk. Her supervisor looked over, confused. Eshe's heart hammered against her ribs. I'm working. It's about a friend of yours, Gunwoo. The name dropped like a bomb. Eshe kept her face neutral. I don't know anyone by that name. Really? Because our cameras show you helping him Saturday night. Alley, behind your building. Oh God. Take your break, her supervisor said, frowning now. Is everything okay? Everything's fine, the tall man answered for her. We just need a few minutes. They led her outside. The second man, shorter with a scar across his cheek, pulled out his phone and showed her a photo. It was her, supporting Gunwoo, both of them caught in the harsh glare of a streetlight. We've been looking for him, Scarface said. You're going to tell us where he is. I don't know. He left the next morning. Did he say where he was going? No. The tall man stepped closer. You seem nervous. 2 strange men just cornered me with photos. Of course I'm nervous. Smart girl, Scarface said. So you understand the position you're in. You helped our enemy. That makes you our problem. Fear turned sharp in her chest. I helped an injured man. I didn't know who he was. But now you do. The tall man pulled out another phone. And now you're going to call him. I can't. Can't or won't. Before Eshe could answer, a black car pulled up to the curb. The back door opened and a voice called out, Get in the car, Eshe. Gunwoo. He looked completely different from the dying man in the alley. Black suit, hair styled back, and an expression that could freeze fire. 3 men stood behind him, all watching the 2 who'd cornered her. This doesn't concern you anymore, Gunwoo, the tall man said, but he'd gone pale. She's under my protection now. Gunwoo's voice was calm, deadly calm. Touch her, and I'll consider it a declaration of war. For some random nurse? She saved my life. That makes her mine. The possessiveness in that word should have terrified Eshe. Maybe it did. But right now, Gunwoo was the only thing standing between her and whatever these men had planned. She walked to the car and got in. Gunwoo slid in beside her. The door closed. The driver pulled away from the curb, leaving the 2 men staring after them. What just happened? Eshe's voice shook. You became a target. Because of you. Yes. At least he was honest. Who were they? Competitors. That's a nice word for people who want to kill you. Gunwoo looked at her. Really looked at her. I warned you. I said I owe you a debt. In my world, that means something. I don't want to be in your world. Too late. The car drove through Seoul's busy streets. Eshe watched the city blur past, her normal life disappearing with every block. Where are we going? Somewhere safe. I need to go back to work. You can't. They know where you work, where you live. They'll use you to get to me. Panic clawed up her throat. This is insane. I just helped someone. That's it. That's never it, Gunwoo said quietly. Actions have consequences. The car stopped in front of a building in an expensive part of the city. Gunwoo led her inside, into an elevator that required a keycard, up to a penthouse that took up the entire top floor. The space was huge, modern, cold, like a hotel suite designed by someone who'd never heard of warmth. You'll stay here until I fix this, Gunwoo said. Fix this how? I'm working on it. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have right now. Yushi spun on him, anger replacing fear. You can't just kidnap me. I'm protecting you. By trapping me? By keeping you alive. His composure cracked slightly. Those men, they won't stop. They'll tear apart your life looking for information. They'll hurt you to hurt me. So this is my life now? Hiding in your apartment? It's temporary. How temporary? He didn't answer. Eshe laughed, sharp and bitter. This is unbelievable. 4 days ago I was nobody. Now I'm what? A hostage? A guest. Guests can leave. Gunwoo met her eyes. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. I know. He moved toward the door. There's food in the kitchen, clothes in the bedroom, everything you need. Except my freedom. He paused at the door. I'll find a way to end this, I promise. Then he left, and Eshe heard the lock click. She was alone in a stranger's home, trapped because she'd made one good decision in a dark alley. This was what kindness got you. Eshe explored the apartment, looking for a way out. The windows didn't open. The door required a code. Her phone had 1 bar of signal, probably blocked somehow. She was well and truly stuck. In the bedroom, she found clothes in her exact size. That should have been thoughtful. Instead it felt creepy, like Gunwoo had planned this. Maybe he had. Her stomach growled. When was the last time she'd eaten? Breakfast, 12 hours ago. The kitchen was stocked like someone actually lived here. Rice, vegetables, meat in the freezer. Eshe made herself ramyeon, sat at the table, and tried not to cry. She'd come to Seoul 3 years ago for a fresh start. Away from her mother's disappointment. Away from a city that never felt like home. She'd worked hard, learned Korean, built a quiet life. Now that life was gone. The door opened around 8. Gunwoo walked in with a man in glasses, older, wearing a suit that actually looked lived in. This is Min Jae, Gunwoo said. My lawyer. Min Jae bowed slightly. Miss Eshe, I understand you're in a difficult situation. That's one way to put it. I've been looking into options. He sat across from her, pulled out papers. The people interested in you work for the Choi family. They control the southern ports. I don't care about territory disputes. You should, Gunwoo said, because they think you know something. I don't know anything. They don't believe that. Min Jae cleared his throat. There are 3 options. 1, we relocate you. New identity, new country. Eshe's heart jumped. Okay, let's do that. It takes time, months, and they're already watching airports and borders. What's option 2? We negotiate. Convince the Choi family you're not valuable. How? Min Jae glanced at Gunwoo. That's complicated. And option 3? Gunwoo spoke. You marry me. Eshe stared at him. What? If you're my wife, you're untouchable. Family is sacred, even in this world. They won't risk the fallout. That's insane. It's practical. It's a prison sentence. Gunwoo's jaw tightened. It's protection. I don't even know you. You knew me well enough to save my life. That was different. How? Eshe stood, pacing. You can't seriously expect me to marry a stranger to fix your gang war. It's not a gang war, Min Jae corrected quietly. It's business. Business where people die. No one contradicted her. Eshe looked between them. These men in their expensive clothes discussing her life like a transaction. What happens if I say no? We go with option 1 or 2, Gunwoo said, and hope they work before the Choi family gets impatient. And if they don't work? Silence. Marry me, Gunwoo said again. 6 months. 1 year maximum. Once things settle, we divorce quietly. You get a settlement, a new start anywhere you want. Why would you do this? I told you. I owe you a debt. This is extreme for a debt. Something flickered in his expression. You saved my life when you had every reason to walk away. Your visa is expired. You had everything to lose. But you helped me anyway. That means something. Eshi wanted to scream. She wanted to throw something. Instead, she asked, if I agree, what are the terms? Min-jae pulled out another document. Separate rooms. No expectations of intimacy. You maintain independence within safety parameters. After the marriage, Gunwoo ensures your legal status is secure and provides financial support. How much support? Gunwoo named a number that made her dizzy. That's too much. That's non-negotiable. Why? Because you'll be taking a risk. You deserve compensation. Eshe read through the contract. It was detailed, surprisingly fair, almost like Gunwoo actually cared about protecting her, rather than just using her. I need time to think. You have until tomorrow morning, Gunwoo said. After that, the Choi family will make their next move and options narrow. He left with Min-jae, leaving Eshe alone, with a decision that would change everything. She didn't sleep that night, just stared at the ceiling, weighing impossible choices. By morning, she'd made up her mind. When Gunwoo returned, she was waiting at the table. I have conditions, Eshe said. He sat down. I'm listening. First, I want everything in writing. Every promise, every term. Done. Second, I keep my job. Or find a new one. I'm not sitting in this apartment playing housewife. Mainu hesitated. That's complicated. That's my condition. We'll find something safe. Third, you don't lie to me. I need to know what's happening, what risks I'm taking. Agreed. And fourth, Eshi met his eyes. The second this is over, the second I'm safe, we're done. No strings, no obligations. Of course. She took a breath. Then okay, I'll marry you. Something crossed Gunwoo's face, relief maybe, or satisfaction. Thank you. Don't thank me. This is survival, not a favor. I know. When? This afternoon. Min-jae has the paperwork ready. That fast? The faster you're protected, the better. 4 hours later, Eshe stood in a government office wearing a borrowed dress, signing papers that made her Mrs. Gunwoo. There was no ceremony, no flowers, no pretense of romance, just signatures, and a stamp that bound her life to a stranger's. When they walked out, Gunwoo's driver was waiting. Where to now? Eshe asked. Home. Your home. Our home, he corrected. At least for now. The penthouse felt different knowing she couldn't leave. Before it was temporary. Now it was her cage. Gilded and comfortable, but a cage nonetheless. I'll stay out of your way, Gunwoo said, watching her. You have the east bedroom, private bathroom. I'm usually gone during the day. Doing what? Business. The kind that gets you stabbed. I'll be more careful. Eshe laughed without humor. You better be. I didn't sign up to be a widow. Neither did I. That night, Eshe lay in a bed that cost more than she made in 6 months, in an apartment that could fit her old place 5 times over, wearing silk pajamas that felt like water against her skin. She was married, to a criminal. Who she'd saved in an alley. Her life had become a drama even she wouldn't believe. In the morning, Gunwoo knocked on her door at 7. I have a job for you, he said, if you're interested. What kind of job? I have international clients. They need translators. You speak Korean, English, Amharic, some Mandarin, according to your resume. You read my resume? I needed to know who I was protecting. Eshe should have been angry about the invasion of privacy. She was too tired. Where would I work? My office. You'd come with me. Translate during meetings. Handle documents. Babysitting disguised as employment. Protection disguised as employment. Gunwoo corrected. But the work is real, and you'd be paid. How much? He named a salary that was triple her clinic wage. That's too much for translation. That's what the position pays. Eshe studied him. Gunwoo stood in her doorway, perfectly dressed, perfectly composed, like a man who always got what he wanted. Fine, she said. When do I start? Today. Gunwoo's office was in a high-rise in the financial district. The building looked legitimate, all glass and steel, and people in business clothes hurrying through lobbies. Eshe had expected something darker, more obvious. What did you think? Secret basement and guards with guns. Gunwoo asked, reading her expression. Something like that. That's for movies. Real business hides in plain sight. They took a private elevator to the 20th floor. The doors opened to a reception area, with a woman at the desk, who smiled at Gunwoo, like he was royalty. Mr. Gunwoo, good morning. And this must be Mrs. Eshe. The title felt foreign. Just Eshe is fine. Mrs. Eshe, the woman repeated, still smiling. Welcome. Gunwoo led her past several offices to a corner suite. Inside, a large desk dominated one side, but there was a smaller workspace by the window, clearly set up for her. Computer, files, even a nameplate that read, Eshe, linguistic specialist. You had this made already? I had it made 3 days ago. Before I agreed? Gunwoo shrugged. I was optimistic. Or arrogant. That too. A man entered without knocking, younger than Gunwoo, wearing a leather jacket instead of a suit. He stopped when he saw Eshe. So it's true. You actually got married. Eshe, this is Tae-min. He handles security. Gunwoo's tone was flat. Tae-min, this is my wife. Be respectful. Tae-min grinned. When am I not respectful? Constantly. Fair. Tae-min turned to Eshe. Welcome to the family. Try not to let him boss you around too much. I don't take orders well, Eshe said. I like her already. Tae-min dropped a folder on Gunwoo's desk. The Choi family sent a gift. Flowers with a lovely card about wishing you happiness in your marriage. Translation? Gunwoo asked. They're angry and making a point. Expected. Eshe's stomach tightened. What kind of point? That they're watching, Tae-min said. But they won't move. Marriage is sacred. Gunwoo's smart, even if he is emotionally stunted. Get out, Gunwoo said without heat. Tae-min left, laughing. Is he always like that? Eshe asked. Unfortunately. Gunwoo opened the folder, scanned it. We have a meeting in an hour. Chinese investors interested in real estate. I need you to verify the documents are translated correctly. You don't trust your own translators? I trust people to make mistakes. I'm watching personally. The meeting was exactly as boring as Eshe expected. Men in suits talking about property values and market projections. She reviewed documents, caught 2 errors in the translation that would have cost Gunwoo millions, and fixed them before anyone noticed. When the investors left, Gunwoo looked at her. Good work. That's what you're paying me for. Still, thank you. The gratitude seemed genuine. Eshe didn't know what to do with that. They worked through lunch, Gunwoo ordering food that appeared like magic. Eshe was reviewing a contract when a woman walked in, tall and beautiful in a way that made Eshe feel small. Gunwoo, darling, I heard the most ridiculous rumor. The woman stopped, staring at Eshe. Oh, it's true. Gunwoo stood. Hai-jin, what are you doing here? Coming to see if you've lost your mind. Hai-jin circled Eshe like a predator. This is your wife, really? Eshe, this is Hai-jin, an old friend. Hai-jin, my wife. Friend. Hai-jin laughed. Is that what we're calling it? The tension in the room could be cut with a knife. Eshe stood, meeting Hai-jin's eyes. Nice to meet you. I'm sure. Hai-jin turned back to Gunwoo. Can we talk? Privately? No. Gunwoo. Anything you need to say it here. Hai-jin's perfect smile sharpened. Fine. What are you doing? Marriage? You don't do relationships. Things change. Not you. Hai-jin glanced at Eshe. No offense, but you're not his type. What's his type? Eshe asked, surprising herself. Someone from his world. Someone who understands the life. Lucky for me, I'm a fast learner. Gunwoo's lips twitched, almost smiling. Hai-jin's eyes narrowed. This is about the Choi situation, isn't it? You married her for protection. I married her because I wanted to. Liar. Believe what you want, now leave. Hai-jin looked between them, something calculating in her expression. This will end badly, Gunwoo. It always does. She left in a cloud of expensive perfume. Eshe sat down, her hands shaking slightly. Ex-girlfriend? Ex-something? She seems pleasant. She's dangerous. More dangerous than the people who want to kill you? Different kind of dangerous. Gunwoo returned to his desk. Ignore her. Kind of hard when she looks at me like I'm an insect. She looks at everyone like that. Comforting. The rest of the day passed without drama. By 6, Eshe's eyes hurt from reading contracts. Gunwoo stood, putting on his jacket. Ready to go home? Home. The word still felt wrong. Sure. The driver took them back to the penthouse. In the elevator, Gunwoo said, "You did well today. I read documents. Not exactly heroic. You caught mistakes that would have caused problems. That matters. Why are you being nice?" The question came out sharper than intended. Gunwoo looked at her, surprised. "I'm just saying thank you. People aren't nice without wanting something." "Maybe I'm not most people." "You're definitely not most people," Eshe muttered. "Most people don't force strangers into marriage." "I didn't force you. You agreed. Because my options were so great." The elevator doors opened. Gunwoo held them, his expression unreadable. "I know this isn't what you wanted. I know I've ruined your life. But I'm trying to make it bearable." Bearable isn't the same as good. It's a start. Eshe walked past him into the apartment. She needed space, air, something that wasn't Gunwoo's controlled environment. "I'm ordering dinner," Gunwoo called. "Preferences?" "Whatever." Helpful. She went to her room, closed the door, and finally let herself feel everything she'd been holding back. Fear, anger, frustration. She was married to a criminal, working for his organization, living in his home. Her mother would die of shame if she knew. A knock on the door interrupted her spiral. "What?" "Food's here." As she opened the door, Gunwoo stood there holding bags that smelled incredible. "You cooked?" "I ordered. But I got Ethiopian food. Figured you might miss it." Something in her chest cracked. It was such a small thing, such a simple gesture, but no one in Seoul had ever thought about what she might miss. "Thank you," she said quietly. They ate in silence, the spices familiar and comforting. Gunwoo used the injera bread correctly, not fumbling like most Koreans did with unfamiliar food. "You've had this before," Eshe observed. "Once or twice. For someone who doesn't do relationships, you're good at this." This, being thoughtful. Gunwoo set down his food. "I told you. I owe you a debt. That means taking care of you. Is that all this is? Debt?" The question hung between them. Gunwoo's expression shifted, something vulnerable crossing his face before the mask returned. "What else would it be?" Eshe didn't answer. The next morning, a package arrived. Designer clothes, all in her size, all expensive enough to make her dizzy. "I can't accept these," Eshe said, finding Gunwoo in his office at home. "You need appropriate clothes for work." "My clothes are fine. Your clothes are practical. These are expected." "By who?" "Everyone we work with. Image matters." Eshe held up a dress that probably cost more than her monthly rent used to. "This is excessive. It's necessary." "No, it's you trying to control how I look." Gunwoo's jaw tightened. "I'm trying to protect you. If you look like you belong, people ask fewer questions. So, I'm supposed to play dress up to fit your world. You're supposed to be safe. I was safe before I met you." The words hit hard. Gunwoo's expression went cold, distant. "Wear what you want. I'll tell the office there's no dress code." He left, before she could respond. Eshe felt guilty, which was stupid. He'd literally forced her into this marriage. She didn't owe him anything, but the hurt in his eyes had been real. She wore one of the dresses to work. Gunwoo noticed, but didn't comment. The week passed in a strange routine. Work during the day, silent dinners at night, both of them orbiting each other like planets that couldn't quite align. On Friday, Gunwoo came home with a woman in her 20s, pretty, with sharp eyes and an attitude that filled the room. "Eshe, this is Da-hee, my sister." "Sister." Gunwoo had a sister. "Half-sister," Da-hee corrected. "Same terrible father, different unfortunate mothers." She looked Eshe up and down. "So you're the nurse who saved his life, and somehow ended up married to him. That's either very smart or very stupid." "Still deciding which," Eshe said. Da-hee laughed. "I like her. She's not boring like the last one." "There was no last one," Gunwoo said. "Hygiene would disagree." "Hygiene is delusional." Da-hee flopped onto the couch like she owned it. "I came to meet the woman crazy enough to marry you, also to borrow money." "No. You didn't hear how much." "Still no. You're so mean to me." Da-hee turned to Eshe. "He's mean, right? Tell him he's mean." Eshe found herself smiling. "He's definitely something. See? She gets it." Da-hee pulled out her phone. "I need 2 million won for school." You dropped out of school, Gunwoo said. I'm going back. Maybe. Probably. If I have the money. What's it really for? A business venture. What kind of business? The kind that's none of yours. Gunwoo sighed, pulled out his wallet, and handed her a card. 2 million, that's it. You're the best worst brother ever. Dahi pocketed the card, then looked at Eshe seriously. Take care of him, okay? He pretends to be tough, but he's actually an idiot with feelings. I don't have feelings, Gunwoo muttered. See? Idiot. After Dahi left, the apartment felt quieter. She's interesting, Eshe said. She's trouble. Runs in the family? Gunwoo almost smiled. Something like that. That night, Eshe couldn't sleep. She found Gunwoo in the living room, working on his laptop at 2 a.m. Do you ever stop? She asked. He looked up, surprised. Can't sleep? Too much thinking. About? This. Everything. She sat in the chair across from him. Can I ask you something? Go ahead. Why this life? You're clearly smart. You could do anything. Why crime? Gunwoo was quiet for a long moment. I didn't choose it. It chose me. That's not an answer. It's the truth. He closed his laptop. My father ran an organization. When he died, I was 16. His enemies came for me. For Dahi. We would have died if his second-in-command hadn't protected us. I owed him everything. So when he asked me to take over, I did. You could have said no. And let Dahi grow up unprotected? Let the people who depended on us fall apart? Gunwoo shook his head. Some choices aren't really choices. Eshe understood that more than she wanted to. Is that why you're trying to go legitimate? The real estate? The investments? You noticed. I read your contracts. Most of your money is in legal businesses. I'm trying to build an exit. For me. For Dahi. For everyone who depends on me. His eyes met hers. It takes time. How much time? 2 years, maybe 3, if nothing goes wrong. And if something goes wrong, then I adapt. The honesty was refreshing. Eshe pulled her knees to her chest. I came to Seoul to escape my past. Funny how life works. What were you escaping? My mother's expectations. She wanted me to marry a nice Ethiopian man, have babies, be traditional. I wanted more. Eshe laughed bitterly. Guess I got more. Just not the kind I imagined. Do you regret saving me? The question was vulnerable, real. Eshe considered it. Ask me in a year. Something flickered in Gunwoo's expression. Hope, maybe. The weekend brought a new complication. Gunwoo announced they had an event to attend. What kind of event? Eshe asked. Business gala. Investors, partners, competitors, everyone who matters. I'm not going. You have to. Why? Because we're married. People need to see us together, or they'll question the legitimacy. It's not legitimate. It's a protection arrangement. They don't know that. Gunwoo pulled out his phone, showed her a photo. This arrived this morning. It was a picture of Eshe leaving the office, taken from across the street. Recent, maybe yesterday. Her blood went cold. Who sent this? The Choi family, reminding us they're watching. That's terrifying. That's business. Gunwoo put the phone away. The gala is neutral ground. If we show up together, strong, united, it sends a message that you're protected, that I'm committed. To a fake marriage. They don't need to know it's fake. Eshe wanted to argue, but the photo had shaken her. Fine, one event. Thank you. I don't have anything to wear to a gala. Already handled. Of course it was. The dress arrived that afternoon. Deep blue, elegant, expensive. It fit perfectly. Eshe stared at herself in the mirror. She looked like someone else. Someone who belonged in Gunwoo's world. She hated how much she liked it. Gunwoo was waiting when she emerged. He'd traded his usual suit for a tuxedo, and Eshe's breath caught. He looked dangerous and beautiful and completely untouchable. You look nice, he said, his voice rougher than usual. So do you. The car ride was silent. Eshe's nerves built with every block. Hey, Gunwoo said quietly. You'll be fine. Stay close to me. Smile occasionally, and let me handle conversations. What if someone asks me questions? Be vague. We met through work, fell for each other quickly, decided not to wait. People love romance. Even in your world? Especially in my world. It's rare enough to be believable. The gala was in a 5-star hotel. All crystal chandeliers and people dripping wealth. Eshe felt out of place immediately. Gunwoo's hand settled on her lower back, warm and grounding. Breathe. She did. They made it 10 feet before someone intercepted them. Gunwoo, is this the mysterious bride? An older man, gray hair, expensive watch. His smile was sharp. Mr. Kang, meet my wife, Eshe. Charming. Where did you two meet? Through work, Eshe said, remembering the script. I translate for international clients. How modern. And the wedding was quick, I heard? When you know, you know, Gunwoo said smoothly. Mr. Kang's eyes gleamed. Indeed. Well, congratulations. Marriage is such a commitment. The way he said it felt like a threat. They moved through the crowd, Gunwoo introducing her to person after person. Eshe smiled until her face hurt, made small talk until her brain felt numb. Then she saw Hygiene. The woman wore red, commanding attention, and she was staring directly at Eshe with undisguised hostility. Ignore her, Gunwoo murmured. Kind of hard. Hyejin approached, a man on her arm, older, powerful looking. Gunwoo, how lovely. And Eshe, you look sweet. Blue is such a safe choice. The insult was wrapped in politeness. Eshe smiled. I like safe. Predictable, you know. I'm sure that's why Gunwoo chose you. Actually, I chose him. Hyejin's smile froze. Gunwoo's hand tightened slightly on Eshe's back, approving. If you'll excuse us, Gunwoo said, guiding Eshe away. That was risky, he said once they were alone. She was rude. She's always rude. Then someone should call her on it. Gunwoo looked at her, something warm in his expression. You're braver than you think. Or stupider. Both, maybe. They were laughing when the lights went out. Screams erupted. Glass shattered. Gunwoo pulled Eshe against him, shielding her with his body. Don't move, he ordered. Someone fired a gun. The sound was deafening in the enclosed space. Eshe's heart hammered. This was real. The danger Gunwoo lived with. It was happening right now. The emergency lights kicked on, dim and red. People were running, shouting. Gunwoo held Eshe tight, scanning the room. We need to go, he said. Now. He led her toward a side exit, moving fast but controlled. Thaemin appeared from nowhere, gun in hand. Cars ready. South exit. They ran. Eshe's heels clicked on marble, her dress tangling around her legs. Gunwoo didn't let go of her hand. They burst into the night air. The car was waiting, engine running. Gunwoo pushed Eshe inside, followed, and the car peeled away before the door closed. What happened? Eshe gasped. Warning shot, Thaemin said from the front. No one hit, just chaos. From who? Choi family, Gunwoo said, his voice tight with anger. Sending a message. What message? That the marriage doesn't scare them. Eshe's hands were shaking. Gunwoo noticed, covered them with his own. You're safe. Someone shot at us. Someone shot near us. There's a difference. That's not comforting. I know. His grip tightened. I'm sorry. Stop apologizing and fix this. I'm trying. When they got home, Eshe went straight to her room and locked the door. She changed out of the beautiful dress, scrubbed off the makeup, and sat on the floor trying to process. Someone had fired a gun. At an event full of people. Because of a gang dispute. Because of her. A knock on the door. Eshe? Go away, please. She opened the door. Gunwoo stood there, still in his tuxedo, looking tired. I understand if you hate me, he said. I don't hate you. I'm terrified. Me too. The admission surprised her. You don't seem scared. I'm good at hiding it. He leaned against the doorframe. This is getting worse, faster than I expected. The Choi family is pushing back harder. What do we do? I end this, permanently. How? I'm working on it. Eshe studied him, this man who'd turned her life upside down. Do you ever regret saving me? It would be easier if you'd just let those men take me. No, why not? Gunwoo met her eyes. Because you matter. The simple statement hit harder than any declaration. I should matter to me, not to you, Eshe said. You can matter to both. He left her with that thought. Eshe didn't sleep. Every sound made her jump. Every shadow felt dangerous. Around 4 in the morning, she gave up and went to the kitchen for water. Gunwoo was there, also unable to sleep apparently. Can't rest either? He asked. Too much adrenaline. He pulled out ingredients. I'll make tea. It helps. You make tea now? I'm full of surprises. They sat in the dark kitchen, drinking tea that was actually good, not speaking. Finally, Eshi said, tell me something true. About what? Anything. I need to know the person I'm tied to. Gunwoo considered. I hate this life. Every day, every decision, every threat. If I could go back and choose differently, I would. But you can't. No. So I'm trying to build a way out. And I'm part of that. You were supposed to be. Now you're something else. What? He looked at her, and for the first time, his mask was completely down. I don't know yet. But something. Eshi's heart did something complicated in her chest. This was bad. She couldn't develop feelings for Gunwoo. This was temporary, transactional. But the way he looked at her made temporary feel like a lie. I should sleep, she said, standing abruptly. Eshi. Good night, Gunwoo. She fled before he could say whatever was in his eyes. This was getting complicated. And complicated, in Gunwoo's world, was dangerous. Monday morning brought flowers, dozens of them, filling the apartment with the smell of roses and lilies. What is this? Eshe asked, finding Gunwoo in his office. Apology. For what? Saturday night, you were scared. That's my fault. Eshe wanted to stay angry, but the gesture was thoughtful, and Gunwoo looked genuinely sorry. Flowers don't fix bullet holes. I know, but it's a start. She sighed. They're pretty. Thank you. You're welcome. Work that week was tense. Every meeting felt loaded, every client potentially dangerous. Eshi caught herself watching exits, noting security, thinking like someone in Gunwoo's world. She hated it. On Wednesday, a package arrived at the office. Small, wrapped in plain paper, addressed to Eshe. Don't touch it, Gunwoo said immediately. It's just a box. In my world, boxes can be problems. Taemin came, examined it with equipment that looked military grade, and finally opened it. Inside was a single photo. Eshe and Gunwoo at the gala, his hand on her back, both of them laughing. Someone had drawn a red X over Eshe's face. That's not creepy at all, Eshe said, trying to keep her voice steady. Gunwoo's expression went dark. Taemin, trace the delivery. Already on it. Who would send this? Eshe asked. Someone trying to scare you. Scare me. Gunwoo took the photo, his jaw tight. It's working. What do we do? You stay close. No going anywhere alone. I'm already a prisoner. Now I'm a supervised prisoner. You're protected. Same thing. Gunwoo looked at her, and the worry in his eyes was real. I can't lose you. The statement hung between them, heavy with meaning. You don't have me to lose, Eshe said quietly. Don't I? Before she could answer, his phone rang. Gunwoo answered, listened, and his face went pale. Where? He demanded. When? I'm coming now. He hung up, already moving. It's Dahi. Someone took her. Eshi's blood turned to ice. Took her where? I don't know. They left a message. They want to meet. It's a trap. Obviously, you can't go. Gunwoo looked at her, like she'd lost her mind. She's my sister, and you're what they want. If you go, they'll kill you both. If I don't go, they'll kill her anyway. Eshi grabbed his arm. Then we need a plan, not just running into whatever they've set up. There's no time. Then make time. 2 minutes of planning beats dying stupid. Gunwoo stopped, stared at her. You sound like a criminal. I sound like someone who wants you alive. Something shifted in his expression. He pulled out his phone, called Taemin. Get everyone. War room, 5 minutes. We're getting Dahi back. The next hour was chaos. Maps, surveillance footage, people Eshi had never seen before appearing with weapons and technology. Gunwoo commanded the room, his usual calm replaced by focused intensity. They're holding her in a warehouse in Incheon, Taemin reported. Old shipping district. Lots of exits. Security? Gunwoo asked. At least 10 men, probably more. What do they want? You, alone, midnight. Not happening, Eshi said. Everyone looked at her. She was probably supposed to stay quiet, but Dahi was just a kid. Annoying and bratty, but a kid. They'll expect backup, Eshi continued. They'll have countermeasures. But what if we give them something unexpected? Like what? Gunwoo asked. Me. Absolutely not. Hear me out. They want you, right? But they're also making a point about your wife. What if I request a meeting? Woman to woman. I want to negotiate for Dahi's safety. It's unexpected enough to maybe work. It's insane, Gunwoo said. It's smart, Taemin countered. They won't expect her to walk in voluntarily. Might lower their guard. She's not trained. She could get hurt. I could wear a wire, Eshe said. Go in, confirm Dahi's location. Your team moves in while they're focused on me. Gunwoo's expression was torn between logic and emotion. If anything happens to you, nothing will happen. You'll be listening. You'll have eyes on me. Eshi, Dahi needs us. Both of us. He looked at her for a long moment, then nodded. You wear a tracker, a wire, and bulletproof vest under your clothes. You go in, confirm location, get out. No heroics. No heroics, Eshi agreed. The plan came together quickly. Too quickly. By 8 that evening, Eshi was dressed in jeans and a jacket that hid the vest, electronics taped to her skin, feeling like an action movie character. Gunwoo checked her equipment personally, his hands gentle. You don't have to do this, he said quietly. Yes, I do. Why? Because Dahi matters to you. That makes her matter to me. His hands stilled. When this is over, we need to talk. About what? Everything. Eshi's heart hammered, and it wasn't just fear about the mission. The warehouse was exactly as grim as expected. Dark, cold, smelling of salt water and rust. Eshi walked in alone, her steps echoing. Hello? She called. A light flicked on. Dahi sat in a chair, tied up but apparently unhurt. A man stood behind her, older, with cold eyes. Mrs. Gunwoo, he said. How unexpected. I came to negotiate, Esha said, keeping her voice steady. There's nothing to negotiate. Your husband comes, or the girl dies. Kill her, and you lose your leverage. Plus, you start a war, you might not win. The man smiled. You have courage. I see why he married you. Let Dahi go. Keep me instead. I'm worth more as his wife. Eshi, what are you doing? Gunwoo's voice crackled in her earpiece, furious. She ignored him. Well, do we have a deal? The man considered. You'd trade yourself for her? Yes. Interesting. He pulled out a gun, pointed it casually at Dahi. But I think I'll keep both. Everything happened at once. Windows shattered. Men in black poured in. Gunwoo appeared from nowhere, putting himself between Eshe and the gunman. Get down, he shouted. Eshe dropped. Gunfire erupted, deafening and terrifying. She crawled toward Dahi, fumbling with the ropes. You're insane, Dahi gasped. You actually came for me. Seemed important. The ropes came free. Eshe pulled Dahi behind a crate, as bullets pinged off metal. Where's Gunwoo? Dahi asked. Eshe looked up. Gunwoo was fighting hand-to-hand with the leader, both men trading brutal blows. He was winning, but barely. Then she saw it. Another man, hidden in the shadows, gun aimed at Gunwoo's back. Eshe didn't think. She grabbed a metal pipe from the ground and threw it. Her aim was terrible. The pipe clanged harmlessly against the wall, but it was enough. The gunman turned, distracted. Taemin took him down. Gunwoo finished his fight, the leader crumpling to the ground. The remaining men surrendered or fled. Silence fell, broken only by heavy breathing. Gunwoo found Eshi and Dahi behind the crate. His face was bruised, bleeding from a cut on his cheek. Are you hurt? He demanded. We're fine, Eshi said. He pulled them both into a hug, fierce and desperate. Don't ever do something that stupid again. You're welcome, Dahi muttered. I'm serious. Both of you, never again. We saved your life, Eshi pointed out. You almost got killed. But we didn't. Gunwoo looked at her, and the emotion in his eyes was overwhelming. We're talking about this later. Looking forward to it. The ride home was quiet. Dahi fell asleep in the back seat, exhausted. Eshi's hands wouldn't stop shaking. You were incredible, Gunwoo said softly. I was terrified. Bravery is being terrified and doing it anyway. Then I was very brave and very stupid. Yes. At the apartment, Gunwoo carried Dahi to the guest room. Eshi made tea, needing something normal. When Gunwoo returned, he looked exhausted. How's she doing? Eshi asked. Asleep. She'll be fine. He sat heavily. This is my fault. I should have protected her better. You can't protect everyone from everything. I should protect the people I love. The word hung there. Love. Gunwoo. I know what this is supposed to be, he interrupted. Fake marriage. Temporary arrangement. Business transaction. But somewhere between the alley and tonight, it became real for me. Eshi's breath caught. Don't. Don't what? Say things you don't mean. I mean every word. He stood, moved closer. You walked into danger for my sister. You threw a pipe at an armed man to save me. You're brave and frustrating, and nothing I expected. This is the adrenaline talking. This is me talking. Finally being honest. Gunwoo's voice was rough. I'm falling for you, Eshe. Maybe I've been falling since you saved my life. I don't know. But I know I don't want this to be temporary anymore. Eshi's heart was doing gymnastics. We barely know each other. I know you're kind to strangers even when it costs you. I know you stand up to people twice your size. I know you take your tea with honey, and you miss your country, even though you won't admit it. I know you're the strongest person I've ever met. Stop. Why? Because I can't tell if this is real, or if I'm just confused because you've been nice, and I'm living in your world, and everything is complicated. Gunwoo stepped back, giving her space. Then take time. Figure it out. I'm not going anywhere. What if I decide this is just survival instinct? What if I don't feel the same way? Pain flickered across his face. Then we stick to the original plan. Divorce when it's safe. You get your freedom. I let you go. Just like that? Just like that. Because what I want doesn't matter if it's not what you want too. Eshi didn't know what to say. Gunwoo saved her by leaving, disappearing into his office. She sat alone with tea that had gone cold, trying to process. Did she have feelings for Gunwoo? Or was this Stockholm Syndrome dressed up as romance? The next few days were awkward. They were polite at work, distant at home. Da-hee noticed immediately. What happened? She demanded, cornering Eshi in the kitchen. Nothing. Liar. You two are acting weird. Weirder than usual. It's complicated. He confessed, didn't he? Da-hee grinned. Finally. I was wondering when he'd grow a spine. It's not that simple. Why not? You like him, he likes you. That's pretty simple. I don't know if I like him, or if I'm just grateful he saved me. You literally walked into a hostage situation for him. That's not gratitude. That's feelings. Eshe blinked. I walked in for you. Sure, partly. But you could have waited outside. Let his team handle it. You went in because you couldn't stand the thought of him walking into a trap. Dahi's expression softened. It's okay to have feelings, even for my emotionally stunted brother. What if it doesn't work? What if it does? The question stuck with Eshi all day. That evening, Gunwoo came home with news. The Choi family wants to negotiate, he said. Real negotiation, not violence. Why the change? Eshi asked. We hurt them, took out their lieutenant, exposed their operations to authorities. They want peace. What do they want in return? Territory in Busan. Some shipping contracts. Nothing that matters compared to ending this. So it's over? If the meeting goes well, yes. Relief flooded through Eshi. When? Tomorrow night. Neutral location, witnesses, everything official. That's good. It means you'll be safe soon. Gunwoo's voice was carefully neutral. Free to make your own choices. Right. Choices. I'm coming to the meeting, Eshi said. That's not necessary. I'm your wife. I should be there. Something flickered in Gunwoo's eyes. Okay. The meeting was in a private restaurant, closed to the public. The Choi family patriarch was older than Eshi expected, gray-haired and grandfatherly until you saw his eyes. Gunwoo, he greeted, and the famous wife. You've caused quite a stir, young lady. Wasn't my intention, Eshi said. Nevertheless, he gestured to the table. Shall we discuss terms? The negotiation was tedious and technical. Eshi translated some documents, watched Gunwoo work. He was impressive, calm and strategic, giving ground where it didn't matter, and holding firm where it did. By the end, they had an agreement. To peace, the patriarch said, raising his glass. To peace, Gunwoo echoed. They drank. It felt anticlimactic, ending a war with paperwork and soju. One more thing, the patriarch said. I apologize for the threats against your wife. That was beneath us. Apology accepted, Gunwoo said. She must be very special for you to risk so much. She is. The simple statement made Eshi's chest tight. In the car afterward, Gunwoo was quiet. "It's really over?" Eshi asked. "It's over. You're safe now. So we can get divorced." Gunwoo flinched. "If that's what you want." "Is it what you want?" "I told you what I want." Eshi took a breath. "I need to tell you something." "Okay. When I saw that gun pointed at you in the warehouse, I was terrified. Not because I'd be unprotected, or because the plan would fail. I was terrified because I couldn't imagine a world without you in it." Gunwoo's hands tightened on the steering wheel. "I don't know when it happened," Eshe continued. "Maybe when you ordered Ethiopian food. Maybe when you stood up for me against hygiene. Maybe in 1,000 small moments I didn't notice. But somewhere along the way, this stopped being fake for me too." He pulled the car over, turned to face her. "Say that again. I have feelings for you. Real ones. Terrifying ones." "Eshe, but I need to know this is real. Not gratitude or obligation or convenience. Real." Gunwoo reached out, cupped her face gently. "You're the most real thing in my life. Everything else is business and strategy and survival. But you make me want to be better. Do better. You make me feel human. That's a lot of pressure. You can handle it." Eshe laughed, and it turned into a sob. "This is crazy. We barely know each other. Then we'll learn. We have time now. What if it doesn't work? What if it does?" The same question Dahi had asked. Eshe was starting to see a pattern. "I'm scared," she admitted. "Me too. You don't seem scared." "I'm terrified. You could break me." Gunwoo's thumb brushed her cheek. "But I'm willing to risk it if you are." Eshe leaned forward, resting her forehead against his. "Okay. Okay, let's try. Real marriage. Real relationship. Let's see what happens." Gunwoo's smile was brighter than she'd ever seen. "Yeah? Yeah." He kissed her then, soft and careful, like she was precious. Eshe kissed back, pouring all her complicated feelings into it. When they pulled apart, both breathless, Gunwoo said, "We should probably go home." Probably. They didn't move. "Gunwoo? Yeah? Thank you for saving my life. Thank you for saving mine first." 3 months later, Eshe stood in front of a new building in Itaewon. The sign read, Seoul Community Cultural Center, in Korean, English, and Amharic. Gunwoo had funded it, but Eshe ran it. A place for immigrants to learn Korean, find resources, connect with others. Everything she'd needed when she first arrived. "It's perfect," Dahi said, looking around. "Very you. Very us," Eshe corrected. "Your brother made this possible." "He's sappy like that." Dahi grinned. "Who knew? Getting stabbed in an alley would lead to true love. Don't romanticize it. Too late. I'm already planning to sell the story to a drama writer." Gunwoo appeared, carrying boxes of supplies. "No one is selling anything. You're no fun. I'm plenty fun. Name one fun thing about you." "I married someone way too good for me, and somehow convinced her to stay." Eshi's heart melted. "Sap. You love it. Unfortunately." He kissed her cheek, and Dahi made exaggerated gagging sounds. Life wasn't perfect. Gunwoo still had complicated business dealings. Eshe still struggled with feeling out of place sometimes. They argued about his overprotectiveness and her stubbornness. But it was real, and real was better than perfect. That evening, back at the apartment that finally felt like home, Gunwoo pulled Eshe onto the couch. "I have something for you," he said. "Another gift? You have to stop spoiling me." "Never." He handed her an envelope. Inside were citizenship papers. Approved, finalized, legal. Eshe stared at them. "How did you—" Min-jae pulled some strings. "Your visa issues are resolved. You're legal now. Free." Tears blurred her vision. "Gunwoo, you saved my life in that alley. I figured making sure you could stay in the country was the least I could do. This is the most thoughtful, wonderful thing anyone's ever done for me. Get used to it. I plan to spend the rest of our lives finding ways to make you happy." "The rest of our lives? If you'll have me." Eshe kissed him, deep and sure. "Yes, absolutely yes." "Good, because I already told Dahi. We're renewing our vows and she's planning a massive party." "Of course she is. She says the first wedding didn't count because you weren't really choosing me." "And now," Gunwoo pulled her closer. "Now? Now I'm choosing you. Every day. Even when you're annoying. Especially when I'm annoying. Especially then. Outside. Seoul glittered in the darkness. A city that had once felt foreign, now felt like home. Not because of the place, but because of the person. Eshi had saved a man in an alley, and somehow, he'd saved her right back. Not from danger, though he'd done that too. He'd saved her from loneliness, from feeling invisible, from thinking she had to face the world alone. And in return, she'd given him something he'd never had. A real home, a real family, a real chance at happiness. 6 months after that, Eshe stood in the same courthouse where they'd first gotten married. But this time, she wore a dress she'd chosen. This time, Dahi was there with flowers. This time, it wasn't about protection or obligation. It was about love. Do you, Eshe, take Gunwoo to be your husband? She looked at the man who'd forced his way into her life and somehow become her whole world. I do. And do you, Gunwoo, take Eshe to be your wife? I do. Again. Gladly. They kissed as husband and wife for the second time, but it felt like the first. Because this time, it was real. The party afterward was exactly as excessive as Dahi promised. Food, music, people from both their worlds mixing and laughing. Tae Min gave a speech about how Gunwoo was whipped and everyone should get used to it. Min Jae presented them with a wedding gift of legal documents, ensuring Esha had equal control of all Gunwoo's legitimate businesses. Dahi cried, insisted she wasn't crying, then cried more. And Gunwoo, the scary mafia boss who once bled in an alley, danced with his wife and looked happier than anyone had ever seen him. No regrets? He asked, spinning her. Maybe one, Esha teased. Oh? I should have asked for more money in the original contract. Gunwoo laughed. Everything I have is yours anyway. I know, but it would have been nice to negotiate. Next time we get married, you can set all the terms. Next time, in case this one doesn't take. I think this one took just fine. He pulled her close, swaying to music. I love you. I love you too, even though you kidnapped me. Protected. Kidnapped. Aggressively protected. Eshi laughed against his shoulder. Whatever you need to tell yourself. As long as I can tell myself you're mine, I'm good. Yours, but also my own person. Obviously. I like you too much to change you. Good answer. They danced until the party wound down. Until Dahi fell asleep on a couch. Until the city outside grew quiet. And when they finally went home, it was together. Not because they had to. Because they wanted to. Eshi had come to Seoul, running from expectations. She'd saved a stranger in an alley. Because it was the right thing to do. And that stranger had become her husband, her partner, her home wine. Life was strange like that. Sometimes the worst decisions led to the best outcomes. Sometimes, being forced into something helped you find what you were looking for all along. Sometimes you had to lose your freedom to find out what you really wanted. And sometimes, just sometimes, saving someone's life meant they'd spend the rest of theirs making sure you never regretted it. Gunwoo did exactly that, every single day. And Eshe, despite everything, despite the chaos and fear and impossibility of it all, had never been happier. She'd saved a man in an alley, and he'd saved her right back. Not from danger, from loneliness. And that made all the difference. If this story gave you butterflies and made you believe in second chances, hit that subscribe button. Share this with someone who loves a good romance. Drop a comment, telling me your favorite moment, because your support means everything. More amazing stories are coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Until next time, remember that sometimes the best love stories start in the most unexpected places. See you in the next one.